today's episode, CEO Quang is stuck in the office, but his mind is already at the wedding aisle with Linda, until a sudden shadow at her tent turns that dream into fear. Hello everyone, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Today we're going to explore Quang's quiet longing at work and Linda's simple life planting vegetables in her tent until something unexpected creeps in. If you enjoy the story, don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the next videos. The office is doing that non-stop office thing. Phones buzzing, printers whining, footsteps rushing past like everyone's late for something. And right in the middle of it, CEO Quang is at his desk, acting like the calmest man alive. On the surface, he's perfect. Suit neat, posture straight, pen in hand. He opens a file, scans a page, signs, slides it to the side. Another file, another signature, another decision. Sign, slide, repeat. But if you watch his eyes, you'll catch it. They keep drifting to the corner of his desk, where a small photo frame sits. It's not a company award, not a press photo. Just him and Linda, smiling like the world isn't heavy. A simple moment that feels warmer than anything in this glass and steel building. Quang exhales, tight and quiet, like he's trying to breathe through pressure. Focus, he murmurs to himself. Just finish this. He flips another page. The words blur a little. He blinks hard like that'll fix it. His phone stays face down, but his brain keeps reaching for it anyway, like it expects Linda to pop up out of nowhere. Then his laptop pings. A new email appears at the top. Wedding draft, layout options. His pen stops midair. He stares at the subject line like it's too personal to exist inside a corporate inbox. He should close it. He should ignore it. He should act like CEO Quang, the man who never gets distracted. But his finger clicks before his pride can stop him. The email opens. Clean designs, soft colors, ceremony schedule, invitation samples, seating plan. A neat little list titled vows. That word hits him straight in the chest. Vows. His throat goes tight. The office noise fades, not because it actually gets quieter, but because his mind turns the volume down on everything that isn't Linda. He leans back, staring at the screen, then at the photo on his desk, then back at the screen again. And it happens so fast he doesn't even realize he's slipping. 1 second, he's surrounded by deadlines. The next, he's somewhere warm. Golden light fills the room like sunset poured through tall windows. White flowers line an aisle. Soft music floats in the air. People sit on both sides, but their faces don't matter. Like they're background in a story that only has 2 real characters. He looks down. He's in a tailored suit, a white flower pinned to his chest. His heartbeat starts sprinting. He lifts his head and sees the doors at the end of the aisle. His hands tense at his sides, because suddenly he's not a CEO. He's just a man waiting for the one person who makes him feel real. The music swells, the doors open, and Linda appears. For a second, Quang forgets how to breathe. She's in a dress that's simple and beautiful, like it wasn't chosen to impress anyone, just chosen to be true. Her hair is pinned back with a few loose strands, and when her eyes lock onto his, she smiles like she's been holding that smile back for him. She steps forward. 1 step, and the tightness in his chest loosens. Another step, and the pressure of the world falls off his shoulders. All he can think is, she's here. We made it. Linda reaches him. He notices her fingers trembling slightly, and that tiny detail makes the moment feel so real it almost hurts. He reaches out. She places her hand in his. It fits perfectly, like it's always belonged there. He wants to say something big, something worthy of a wedding. But his mind is empty in the best way, because his heart is shouting one truth over and over. Don't let go. He's about to squeeze her hand, about to pull her closer, and the air changes. A cold breeze slides through the room, not loud, not dramatic, just wrong, like a shadow walked into a place that was supposed to be safe. The candles flicker, a few petals fall. Linda's smile falters for half a second. Quang's stomach drops instantly. The music keeps playing, but it sounds farther away now, like it's behind a wall. Then he hears it, a whisper, low and sharp, crawling into the space between breaths. She doesn't belong. Quang stiffens. His grip tightens around Linda's hand. Every instinct in him screams, protect. Another whisper follows, colder. Not yours. His heart slams against his ribs. No, he whispers, like he can argue with the dream itself. That's not true. He leans closer to Linda, trying to shield her with his body, trying to pull her back into warmth, trying to hold the moment together. A sharp knock cuts through everything. CEO Quang? His eyes snap open. He's back in the office. Fluorescent lights, paper stacks, that same hum of machines. His chest rises and falls too fast, like he's been running. His assistant stands at the door with a folder. Sorry to interrupt. Your meeting starts in 5 minutes. Quang swallows, forcing his voice to sound normal. Okay, put it here. The folder lands on the desk. The assistant leaves. Quang stares at his laptop. The wedding email is still open. The word vows is still there, neat and harmless, like it didn't just stab him with a warning. He looks at Linda's photo again. His hands are slightly shaky. He grabs his phone and opens their chat. He doesn't type a speech. He types the simplest truth he has. I miss you. Are you okay? Send. The second it delivers, he exhales like he's been holding his breath for hours. Cut to the hillside. A small tent sits under soft morning light. The air smells like soil and leaves. No glass walls, no rushing footsteps, just quiet. Linda kneels beside a patch of dirt, sleeves rolled up, hands dusty. She's planting vegetables. Careful, patient, like she's building a future one seed at a time. She digs a small line into the soil, sprinkles seeds in, covers them gently. Then she pours water slowly, watching the earth darken as it drinks. She pauses, wipes her hands on her pants, and stares at the tiny garden like she's trying to picture it full and green. Her face is calm, but her eyes keep flicking toward her phone near the tent entrance. Then it buzzes. She grabs it immediately. When she sees Quang's message, her expression softens like sunlight breaking through clouds. I miss you. Are you okay? She whispers, I'm okay. I'm trying. She types back, fingers still dusty. I'm okay. I'm planting vegetables. I miss you too. Her thumb hovers over the send button, and then a rustle outside the tent. Not wind, not leaves. Closer, heavier, like footsteps stopping right at the entrance. Linda freezes. Her phone glows in her hand, the message unsent. She stares at the tent flap as a shadow lingers outside, silent, waiting. Linda stayed perfectly still, staring at the tent flap like it might suddenly swing open on its own. Her phone glowed in her hand, her reply to Quang still sitting there, unsent. The garden outside had felt peaceful 2 minutes ago. Now even the quiet sounded suspicious. She forced herself to breathe slowly. One inhale, one exhale. Then she grabbed the closest thing she could reach. One of the small tool handles she used for the soil. It wasn't much, but it made her feel less helpless. Who is it? She called, keeping her voice low but steady. No answer. The silence stretched so long it started to feel loud. Linda took a careful step forward and pulled the tent flap open just a few centimeters, only enough to see. A boy stood there, barefoot, nervous, holding a small plastic bag. Linda, he said softly. Linda blinked, caught off guard. She lowered the tool slightly. You scared me. Why are you standing like that? The boy looked down, embarrassed. Sorry. My mom told me to bring you something. He held up the bag. Inside were a few tomatoes and a bundle of green onions, fresh, still smelling like dirt and morning. For me? Linda asked. He nodded quickly. My mom said you're planting vegetables, but it'll take time. She said, welcome. For a second, Linda's chest warmed. She hadn't expected kindness out here. She hadn't expected anyone to notice her at all. That's really kind, she said, her voice softening. Tell your mom thank you. The boy nodded, but he didn't leave. He shifted his feet like there was something else he was trying to say, but didn't want to. Linda watched him carefully. What is it? There's more, right? He swallowed. My mom said, be careful. Linda's stomach tightened again. Be careful of what? He glanced down the path behind him, then back to her. Last night, some strangers came through. They were asking questions. Linda went cold. Questions about who? The boy hesitated. Linda kept her tone gentle. It's okay. Just tell me. They asked about a girl living in a tent, he whispered. They asked if she's alone. Linda's fingers tightened around the plastic bag. Did they say why? He shook his head. No, but they showed my mom a picture on a phone. A picture. Linda's mouth went dry. The boy added quickly, like he wanted to protect her but didn't know how. My mom didn't answer. She told them she didn't know. Linda nodded slowly, forcing herself to stay calm. You did the right thing telling me. Thank you. He looked relieved, then pointed down the hill. If anything happens, run to our house, the one with the blue tarp roof. Linda nodded again. I will. Be careful going back, okay? The boy nodded and ran off, disappearing between the trees. Linda stood there for a moment, holding the vegetables like they weighed 100 kilos. The wind moved gently through the leaves, and everything looked normal again, which somehow made it worse. Because now she knew. This wasn't random. Someone was looking for her. She stepped back inside the tent, pulled the flap closed, and grabbed her phone with both hands. Her original message to Quang was still waiting. She hit send. I'm okay. I'm planting vegetables. I miss you too. Then she typed again, faster this time. Quang. A local kid warned me. Strangers asked about a girl in a tent last night. They showed a picture. Her thumb hovered for half a second. She didn't want to worry him. She didn't want to sound dramatic, but her hands were shaking. She sent it. Then she sat down on the edge of the thin mattress, listening. Every small sound outside made her tense. Every rustle, every distant footstep that might not even be a footstep. In the city, Quang was in a meeting room with a projector screen glowing behind him. Someone was talking about targets and timelines. People nodded like their lives depended on it. His phone buzzed. He ignored it at first, jaw tight, eyes forward. Then it buzzed again. He glanced down under the table, just for a second, and saw Linda's name. His shoulders loosened when he read the first message. Then he read the second, and his face turned hard. He reread it once, then again, like his brain refused to accept it. Strangers, a picture, asking about her. He typed immediately, fast and controlled. Are you inside right now? Is anyone near you? Do not go outside alone. If anything feels wrong, run to the nearest safe house. He sent the messages one after another, then looked up like nothing happened. But his mind wasn't in the meeting anymore. It was already mapping routes, calling contacts, replaying the warning in his dream, the cold breeze, the whisper, the feeling that something was trying to pull Linda away. He stood up. Everyone paused. Quang gave a smooth CEO smile. Excuse me, emergency. Continue without me. He walked out. The moment the door shut, the calm mask disappeared. He called her. It rang once, twice. Linda answered, voice low. Quang? Linda, he said, steady but urgent. Where are you right now? Inside the tent, she whispered. Good. Stay there, he said. Listen to me. I'm sending people I trust to you. You're not alone. Linda's breath caught. They had my picture. I know, he said, jaw tight. That's why we're not taking chances. He lowered his voice. Do you have a safe place close by? Yes. The kids said their house has a blue tarp roof down the hill. Perfect, Quang said. If you hear anything, grab your phone and run there. Don't wait. Do you understand? Yes, Linda whispered. Quang's voice softened just a little. I'm sorry. You were just planting vegetables. And now you have to deal with this. Linda's voice trembled. I was thinking about our future. And you will have that future, he said firmly. I promise you. He ended the call and immediately dialed security. I need a car now, he said. 2 people to this location, quiet, fast, protect Linda. He sent the coordinates and one line that meant everything. Do not let her out of your sight. Back in the tent, Linda held her phone like it was the only solid thing in the world. She tried to calm her breathing. Quang was sending help. Quang cared. Quang was moving. She should feel safe, but her instincts wouldn't settle. Then her phone buzzed again. A new message. Unknown number. Her heart stopped. I saw you this morning. Don't make the CEO come. Stay where you are. Linda stared at the screen, frozen. Her throat tightened so hard she could barely swallow. Outside, a branch snapped. Not far away. Close. Too close. Linda slowly podniaved her eyes to the tent flap again, as if the fabric might show her the truth. A shadow passed across it, brief, silent, unmistakably human. And this time, it didn't just linger. It moved, like it was getting ready to step in.
Chiếc camera cũ trong kho, kéo dây lắp trước sân nhà. Để bảo vệ cô, đêm đến, Linda nấu cơm nếp cẩm, mời anh ở lại ăn. Hai người trò chuyện, lòng ấm lại. Quang kể áp lực công ty, camera nháy sáng, bóng lạ thoáng qua. Và không biết Linda có sống sót qua được đêm nay không. Mọi người nếu thấy video hay, hãy cho mình một like, một subscribe. Cảm ơn mọi người nhé.